So, I want to be transparent and say that there are some heavy topics in this video, and if that's not something that you can handle right now, then the TLDR is, I'm going to be dedicating most of my time to my indie game until the demo is finished. For everyone else, I just had a tragic loss to my family, something I will be going over in a bit more detail later, but that's mostly why I've been MIA these past few days. And to be clear, I was already considering this shift in focus for a while, but recent events have definitely expedited the process. So let's get into this update video. First things first, I have a Discord. I plan on making a more thorough virtual tour of the Discord at a later date, but for now, consider joining. I've always wanted to create a community of like-minded people who just want to learn new things. And as of right now, it's a space for showing off your projects, supporting other streamers, and building a modest hub for indie devs and especially aspiring indie devs. A lot of people definitely need to be more arrogant when it comes to starting a career or at the very least a hobby in game development, but it's also a very intimidating process and I get that. Hear me out though. These are games that you can play right now that were made in under a week for a very casual game jam that took place across the Midwest. Don't be intimidated by AAA stuff, don't be scared of figuring it out. So again, join the Discord if you want to get into game development, or you can watch my dev streams to get a better understanding of the process and maybe then it'll come more easily to you. Still, the option is there. Other than that, I also want it to be a place for learning Japanese, getting better at art, mostly digital art, and I really want to play TTRPGs there too, so Dungeons & Dragons and also Changeling and Dreaming, which is from the World of Darkness series. Basically, it's Vampire the Masquerade but with fairies instead of vampires. All of that is going to take a while for me to set up though. In terms of my channel here on YouTube, I've been wanting to cut back on streams for the next month. This is mainly because though I've been able to mostly keep up with my schedule, it was just busy enough to stop me from making the YouTube content I wanted, like actual videos and shorts at a consistent pace. On that note, video essays. To this day, I still think Journey in a Bottle Part 2 is the best video I've ever made, but it's also a third of what I planned it to be, and what I wanted it to be. It was supposed to be way more grandiose than what it actually was, but after years of just thinking about making that series, I eventually told myself that I really only had two options for it. Either make and upload something that was pretty decent, or keep thinking of a perfect idea and have it never exist. And that's when I started making that series proper. Now, I don't plan on making lore videos for other games unless I really like said games, but I've been wanting to talk about other games for a while now, and I think I thought of a format that compromises making them good and making them exist pretty well. A lot of people already do this format, so I really should have considered this sooner, but we'll get there when we get there. Now, for my shift in focus, it's mostly just taking a break from playing games. I would say a break from streaming, but I'm probably going to be streaming even more for the next month or so. And that's because I'll be hard focused on developing a demo for Magic City Beats, which is honestly a bit overdue. I'll be completely earnest and completely blunt. It was my grandma who passed away. I don't even think I fully processed it yet, and I don't know how well I'll be after going to the funeral, but at the moment I am able to make this quick video, and I am able to talk about it. So let me share this. I made the story of Magic City Beats for my grandma. I'm not sure how many of you have heard me talk about the brainstorming process, but in terms of the style and the aesthetics, it started off as a pixel art assignment for my history of gaming class, and it just got bigger and bigger as the semester went on, later becoming an animation for what was basically an art philosophy and art appreciation course, but before that Magic City Beats was just a D&D campaign, and it took place in Gary. Why? Because when I went home to visit, my brothers were talking about how long it's been since we played a board game together. And you know, I play Baldur's Gate 3 pretty excessively at this point, so I'm like, hey, let's play D&D, I can be y'all's DM. And after attempting to set up a quick game, my grandma comes in and go, well, I want to play. And instead of telling her that she wouldn't like the game, I tailor-made an entire world for her, in case there was a chance she would like it. And see, my grandma's a grandma. She was a Christian woman who watched old shows, Christmas movies, and General Hospital. But she also really liked Charmed. And when I remembered that, I said, wait, she knows what a warlock is. I can definitely do this. And the campaign ended up being like a mix between Percy Jackson, Charmed, and Supernatural. And I decided to base it around a church because, I mean, she was obviously a cleric, like, come on. And she obviously wasn't going to make that character herself, so I walked up to her and said, hey grandma, if God gave you the power to better help serve him, What would you want that power to be? And she said, I want to have a voice that could reach others and direct them towards the Lord. And so I made her character, Miss Magdalene, a charismatic light domain cleric with a theme around tongues, so healing word, word of radiance, silence, etc. But she was so loved and had such a strong presence. Everyone called her Maggie Majesty. Moving on though, because this would be everyone's first time playing, and because I didn't want my grandma to get stuck on something for too long, I decided to make an NPC that could help guide them along the way without needing to explain everything above table, or so that I can get them to stay in character. And I decided to make this NPC her partner from the church, who was her polar opposite, mute, vigilant, the loner type, so that it was more likely that they could rely on each other. And I gave this NPC the same heart of gold that she had. And this character ended up being Jimmy James Jr. So, without understatement or hyperbole, the world of Majesty Beach generally would not have existed without her. So I really want to honor my grandma by making this project real, focusing on it until the demo is out or I've set up a Kickstarter campaign, God willing. And not exactly because she'd want me to do this, but because she'd want to know if I'd be okay. And that is the best way I can think of, for me to prove that to myself and for me to let her know that. So if I have the time to make a concrete schedule like the last one I did, then I'll just post that in the community tab. Otherwise, most of my streams are just going to be game development from here on out. And maybe I'll choose 1 or 2 days out of the week to do something else, but we'll just have to see. Still, that's about everything from me. So thank you guys for making it to the end, listening to me, and thank you once again for y'all's patience. But until next time, as usual, peace.